Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Time, Talent, Treasure Radio. I'm your host, Jared Sebesta of Taatjes Financial Group, where we build purposeful retirement plans. At Taatjes Financial Group, we believe retirement planning is so much more than just preparing financially. Our goal is to help retirees and pre-retirees steward their time, talent, and treasure. We have the tools and proven process to make sure your retirement plan delivers the greatest purpose, impact, and legacy. If you need help building a purposeful retirement plan specific for your life and your retirement, give us a call. Our number is 320-222-4236. You can request a meeting online at taatjesfinancial.com. And if you live in the neighborhood, just stop by our office. We are located on 19th Avenue Southwest in Wilmer, building purposeful retirement plans. Well, thank you once again for joining us here today. We sure do appreciate that. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Before we get started, just a reminder, Understanding Social Security with Tim Mattern is back for November with 2 dates and 1 new location. Social Security is the primary source of income for 69% of retirees. Choosing when to take it, how to take it isn't as easy as just merely waiting till you're 62 or 65 or 67 years old. This 60-minute seminar is going to cover everything that you need to know to help you make an educated decision on starting Social Security and how to maximize its benefits. Again, we have 2 dates and 2 locations. The first one is on Thursday, November 2nd at a new location in Alexandria at the Depot Smokehouse and Tavern. 2 weeks later, on Thursday, November 16th, Understanding Social Security will be here in Wilmer at the Oaks. Both events start at 5. They run about 2 full hours with dinner provided. Again, Tim Mattern's going to be there. You're going to learn all the ins and outs of Social Security. And this event is free, but you have to register. This is the important part. Go to our website, taatjesfinancial.com. You're going to see links right at the top of the screen. If you would like to attend one of these events, either in Alexandria or Wilmer, click on the appropriate event, reserve your spot. Space is limited. And again, we'll give you another reminder on next week's show. But go to our website, Taatjes Financial, and get signed up for Understanding Social Security with Tim Mattern. Ben Taatjes joins me on the show today, and we are now headed firmly into November. Harvest is in full session. Had a wonderful weekend of weather. Just kind of a neat time of the year for us, and it's fun to kind of talk about these cool things we got coming up.
Yeah, the events are going to be great. I'm always impressed with the turnout at those, and you know, Tim's gotten to be an expert, right? He is a national Social Security advisor, and the information that he shares is something that really every retiree or almost every retiree will have to make those decisions, and it highlights, you know, really what's so important for retirees is transitioning from this area of wealth where they have like these funds, whether it be retirement accounts, whatever, and they have to transition their mind to income. A big piece of income is Social Security. Mm-hmm. A lot of folks rely on that monthly check. And I can tell you, Jared, from visiting with now hundreds, thousands even of clients, that Social Security, that check is the easiest money people ever spend, because it really, you don't see an account going down, right? Yeah. I mean, yeah, we've talked, and so many people talk about this. I remember when I was first in this business, Jared, doing tax planning and actually preparing tax returns almost 20 years ago, over 20 years ago now. And one of my clients who was in their 60s at the time and started Social Security, I made the flippant comment. I said something like, well, at least you get your Social Security. By the time I'm that age, it won't be there. Mm-hmm. Here I am 20 years later, and I remember what he told me. He said, Ben, when I was your age, we were saying the same thing. Okay, so I'm not going to project that Social Security is going to be around forever. There will likely be changes coming. We know that, and there has been already with the ages at which full retirement age comes, and there will probably be means testing down the road. We don't know, but the truth is that for most people retiring today, that is going to be a significant source of income.
And I think that's a really important point, and I want to spend today's show talking about that. This whole transition from wealth to income. You know, really, when it comes down to what it is that we do, people think that we are just, it's a very one-dimensional business where, you know, we just help people, with their investments. And that is part of it. But really, the value that we bring is helping them transition not only financially, but mentally, psychologically. There's a lot that goes into this transition of turning that wealth into income, just like Social Security.
Yeah, and I think the importance, that mindset starts right away, right? You're trying to envision yourself as somebody that's no longer saving, but is now spending. And for a lot of people, that's a hard transition, right? My whole life, I've been kind of building this wealth up so that, someday I can use it in retirement. That's what our industry has told you for decades of work is like, put money away and save it. But then all of a sudden you get to that point at which you retire, and then you're supposed to just start taking distributions from that account and start using it. And it feels kind of strange, where people no longer look at it as, hey, this wealth I'm building, but they look at it as a consistent income stream. And I think what's important is that people understand the difference, right? And you can make that shift in your head. Okay, I saved this money to spend it. I did not save this money so that someday I can die and give it to my kids. If part of your plan was to take care of your children, of course, and someday maybe provide them with an inheritance, that's great. But if your money went into your saving from your paycheck, most people in their 401ks, they were looking at tax deferral, right? Putting money away for a later date, saving some money on taxes, and then pulling that money out later in life when they're retired. And that tax deferral is great, Jared. But I think people need to really realize that unless their mind shifts to where they're going to spend the money, it can begin to put a drag on the way they feel about their financial situation.
I think that's why, at least I could comprehend why people think that spending the Social Security check is probably easier. Because it's just kind of that steady flow of income. It doesn't feel like you're spending your money is bad. Would that be a fair statement?
Yeah, yes, you put your money into it, right? And it is your money that you're spending, but it feels less like that. It doesn't. You don't see an account at the end of the month or the end of the quarter where you see your account that you see a distribution coming out of it, right? I think many times people that see their statements, they're like, okay, this is my income on it, right? I've pulled this money out. And sometimes in retirement, if the markets are flat or even going down, it really bothers folks to see that. I don't think it should, Jared. Again, what I'm saying is you saved it so that you can then spend it later. And there are many times where the markets are good and it allows, for growth, even though you are taking distributions out of your account, but not always. And I think that's when typically people start to kind of maybe slow down their spending or make changes in their situation based on what the markets are doing. I think that, again, is a decision made on the wealth side of the coin, if you will, not the income side. And remember, the wealth is like the stockpile. It's the amount that's out there, not really something you're going to spend. The income is what we call the useful side of money. And that is what I think many retirees need to focus in on. Social Security being a big part of that to start. I mean, it's definitely more consistent and easier to spend.
We've got about 30 seconds left here. What would be like something that a client or maybe even a new client would say that would wave the red flags in your mind to say, oh, we need to have a deeper conversation about this idea of wealth versus income, maybe where you can sense that maybe they're putting a little bit too much emphasis on that wealth and not understanding that it needs to be turned to income?
Well, many times they get fixated on a certain dollar amount. It has happened in my career. It used to be, when we get to that $1 million, they've saved $1 million. Nowadays, maybe it's 2 or 3 or whatever that number is, but they've gotten to that point where it's like, okay, I finally crossed that threshold. But then what if the markets go backwards? Or, heaven forbid, that I should have to spend that money and take money out. It feels as if I'm dipping into my savings. And remember, you've saved this so that you can hopefully spend it and enjoy it, even if that means just giving it to charity, giving it to your children, spending it on experiences. That money does you no good if you just look at the statement. It only does you good when you use it as a tool. It should always be really the means that which you can enjoy life.
All right, sounds good, Ben. Well, if you'd like to set up a no-cost, no-obligation meeting so we can help discuss wealth versus income and your retirement plan, now is the time. First, give us a call at 320-222-4236. You can request a meeting online at taatjesfinancial.com. And like I said, if you're in the neighborhood, you live in West Central Minnesota, stop by our office. We're located on 19th Avenue Southwest in Wilmer, building purposeful retirement plans. I'm Jared Sebesta, joining you on this episode of Time, Talent, Treasure Radio. Thanks so much for listening. We'll see you next time.
Securities offered through Avantax Investment Services. Member FINRA SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through Avantax Advisory Services. Insurance services offered through an Avantax affiliated insurance agency.